Welcome back to the channel, my friends. My name is Ifti, and we're exploring the realm of spirituality, higher guides, and sharper intuition. Today, I'm going to go through four major differences between the law of assumption and the law of attraction. Knowing these differences is incredibly important, especially when you're first starting out using manifestation techniques. You'll see which ones work for specific situations and which ones I prefer to use messing around with these different laws and techniques for a little while. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. It seems like law of attraction and law of assumption are incredibly popular in the spiritual realm these days. And no doubt everybody wants to be able to manifest that Lambo or say, "Can I get a hot tub?" and a hot tub shows up. But that's not exactly how these laws work. So what is the law of attraction? The law of attraction states that you must match the vibration of the thing that you want, and once you have that, those things will come into your life. It sort of plays off of quantum physics as well as ancient teachings that state that there are already versions of you that have the things that you want. So you just have to vibrationally match your energy level to that version of you, and you will get those things. The law of assumption is a more of an advanced technique that goes even further, written on by Neville Goddard, who states that the ultimate way to get your desires fulfilled is consider the wish already fulfilled. Start at the end and be the thing that you want and act as if you already have it, and the physical thing will manifest into your life. So let's get right into the four major differences. The first one is just the core principle difference. Now, the law of attraction is more of a general law, more of a general rule that is playing off the idea of vision boards and visualizing things and setting positive intentions and positive mindsets around the things that you want to attract them into your life. The law of assumption, however, goes one step further and literally hacks your subconscious mind into believing that you already have those things. See, the subconscious mind does not know the difference between you having the thing in physicality and not having it in physicality if you're behaving and embodying the feelings as if you already have that thing. Neville Goddard was sort of a genius in this situation because he realized the power of the subconscious mind and how it can recreate our own realities when we start at the end. Number two is the emotional difference. The law of attraction focuses on high vibe, visualization, and positive thoughts, where the law of assumption is more of an advanced technique because it demands that you already think and feel as if you already have the thing. People who are more pragmatic and realistic thinking will be a little bit more challenged with the law of assumption because it'll challenge you to think more outside of the box and really stretch your imagination. You know, how many of us growing up were sort of shamed or told us imagination is something only that kids do, when really the power in the law of assumption is being able to work your imagination to the point where the thing feels so real and you can feel the feelings as if you already have those things. Another thing that will sabotage you from using the law of assumption effectively, especially in this emotional side of things, is doubt. You must be a destroyer of doubt. You must be a doubt destroyer, okay? If you're using the law of assumption, you can have zero doubts that you already have the thing. Because think of it this way: if you had a Ferrari sitting in your driveway, would you ever doubt that you had a Ferrari? No, you would absolutely believe that. And that is the level of belief and conviction required to use the law of assumption effectively. This is why I say it's a more advanced technique. See, I sort of had some training in this because as a paramedic, we would always be prepared for the worst. We had all our equipment, we had our ambulance, we had everything. But the main thing in how you would deal with calls and just chaos in general was your mindset. And I was always in setting the intention for the best possible outcomes for every situation. And I will admit and say, my career as a paramedic, I definitely went through way more miracles than my average colleagues went through in terms of helping people and just crazy situations just turning out all right. I do credit the law of assumption for this. I didn't even know about the law of assumption back then. Number three is process. There's a process difference between these two things. Now, the law of attraction demands you use things like vision boards, visualization, and a positive mindset to attract things in your life. And then the law of assumption demands you already must be the thing. Live as if you're being it. And that imposter syndrome will come up. And this is the advanced part of the technique. You must identify that imposter and crush him or her. You must totally crush that feeling, because that will bring up feelings of doubt, which will again conflict with your assumptions. Another thing that can really mess you up here is, I talked about this in another video about morphic fields, how these are fields of reality that we create through assumed beliefs growing up. If you have assumed beliefs that you've held onto subconsciously growing up that are in conflict with your new assumptions that you want to, new things you're assuming that you already have that are going to come into your life, if these two things are conflicting, it's really going to mess this up, and the law of assumption won't work for you. Let's say you grew up thinking money was evil, but now you're assuming that you want to make 10K a month, or you are already making 10K a month, and you're acting and living in alignment with that. Repeatedly, you'll find yourself self-sabotaging yourself and reverting back to money was evil subconsciously. So definitely check my video out on that. I go deep into this one specific aspect if you want to look at the morphic fields and your beliefs that have shaped your reality so far. Now, number 4, speaking of which, is belief and faith systems, which are completely different for these two laws. The law of attraction states that you are basically believing in the possibility and probability of your desired outcomes, and then aligning your thoughts and actions, bringing that in alignment with that to make it work. This may be an easier one to adopt for somebody who's just starting out in the realm of shifting realities and manifestation. This is a much easier concept to get your head around. If you make a vision board, you can make a really awesome vision board. What I do, and I talked about it in a different video, was making a vision board for the background of your phone. Because we open our phone hundreds of times a day, or sometimes 100 times a day, just a lot of times, right? And what better way to subconsciously brainwash yourself than to see the things that you would like to attract into your future? So that's the law of attraction. The other thing the law of attraction demands is to align your actions currently that you're taking in alignment with the things that you want. Let's say you want to earn $10,000 a month and you have a coaching business, but you're not doing any outreach for new clients. Well, you've kind of closed off a channel for abundance to come into your life. You must be acting in accordance with the things you're projecting out. The law of attraction definitely relies more on things like goal setting and milestones, actively tracking your progress. The law of assumption, again, hacks right into the subconscious mind and says assumption is the fact. The emphasis here is on the conviction that what you have assumed is already your reality. You must live and act and feel. Feeling is the key. In fact, I think that was the title of his book, right? Feeling is the secret. You must feel the feelings of having that mansion. You must feel the feelings of making that 10K a month to be in alignment with it. Now, we'll put one caveat here with the law of assumption. The thing is, your belief gap, the reality you're living now, and the things that you want and things you're assuming, the larger that gap is between what you have and what you're assuming you have, the stronger your conviction and bolder your actions you will have to take towards getting those things. What do I mean by that? If I assume that I'm making $1 million a year, my actions will have to be so bold as if I was making $1 million a year. So it is important when you're using the law of assumption, especially when you're starting out, to make your assumptions reasonable. I mean, I'm not saying to make them close to your current version of reality. I mean, you can have very ambitious assumptions, but if you go stretch far out and make your assumptions really ambitious, realize your conviction will have to be just as strong in that, your belief is going to be just as strong in that, and your actions are going to be just as bold as if you already had those things. Rather than, if you're making 5K a month and you want to make 10K a month, that's a much closer belief gap to bridge and, to jump that gap. So at a high level, remember, if you're using the law of attraction, vision boards, visualizing, positive mindsets, and positive thinking are going to be key. And if you're using the law of assumption, then we're looking at living, hacking the subconscious mind, living as if we already have those things, feeling as if we already have those things, and closing that belief gap by taking radical action as if we already have those things. Let me know down in the comments below, do you prefer the law of assumption or the law of attraction? Until next time, friends, peace.